So I called my brother who was in Florida, and I was like, I took an edible and I'm tripping and all of that stuff. And I'm walking around this table that was in her living room and talking on the phone with my brother. Suddenly, I just started screaming. To this day, bro, I swear a demon entered my body in that moment because I just started screaming, like screaming. My brother's on the phone and he's trying to get my attention and I'm gone. So he hangs up the phone with me. He calls my friend, right? And I call the police because I call the ambulance. I'm like, I need to go to the hospital right now. As soon as I call the ambulance, I blacked out. And when I say I blacked out, I mean I crossed over to another realm. This is where I went to hell, y'all. This is where I went to hell. My body, my soul crossed over to another realm, and I was just falling down this dark tunnel. Like, at this point when I crossed over at first, it wasn't even that I just magically appeared in hell. I had to go through something. Like, it was like I was going down like something. And the whole time I'm going down, I'm trying to reach back. I'm trying to go back because I'm thinking about, I'm 19. I'm like, instantly, I knew that this was death. I knew that this was death instantly. No questions asked. I don't know if I can say I was thinking because I was not necessarily in my body. It felt like I was dead. And I knew that I was 19 years old and I came to New York and I died. And I wanted to go tell my parents bye. That was what was going on in my mind. Let's just say in my mind, right? So I'm going down this path and I'm trying to go back as far, like, I'm trying to go back. And I'm calling out God. I'm calling out God. I'm calling out people's names. I'm calling out, like, you know, people that I want to go back to see. Like, please, like, come get me. I want to go back to these people. Calling out my mom's name, calling my dad's name, calling out for God. God, like, save me, God. Like, this was me, right? This Christian girl going down this tunnel on her way to hell, screaming for God. This was me. Mind you, when I told you before I blacked out, I was on the phone with 911. So whatever was going on during this time, they were hearing it. When I came back into my mind, my right mind, I was now in the kitchen in front of my friend's boyfriend, and my friend was next to him with my friend's boyfriend shaking me. And I came back to reality. So it was like, I was so confused, right? I still had the phone in my hand and it was still on call, so I hung up. Then I walked back to the living room and I started packing my stuff to just leave because I just didn't want to be there anymore. It was embarrassing and I just felt like, you know, like I'm in these people's house and I'm doing too much and all of that stuff. So I get a call back from just a New York number and I answered, and it was sure and behold the operating system for like the cops or the ambulance or whoever. I think the cops, but I don't really know because the cops and the ambulance did come. So I'm on the phone with them and they're like, oh, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing. And they were like, did you call us? And I was like, yeah, but I'm okay now. And they were like, are you the girl or are you her friend? So I guess my friend had called for me too. So I'm like, I'm the girl. And they're like, okay, can you give us the address and come outside so we can check on you? And I was like, I'm okay now. Like, I'm fine. As soon as I said that, y'all, I started going back down this tunnel, and I'm screaming again. Like, I'm screaming. Like, I want to go home. I want to go back. I never wanted to go back to Earth so bad. Like, this ghetto place, I wanted to come back. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm dying. I can't go back. Like, when I tell you the torture was real, y'all. And I started to feel torment in my body. My body was tormented. Like, I couldn't. Like, I don't even know how to explain it to this day. It's been almost 2 years and I can't even explain what the torment that I felt going down that tunnel. And I'm now in this place and I can't get out, and I'm tormented. I'm itching for my parents. I'm itching to go back, and I just feel the intensity of heat. And I started to hear the anguish of people in hell, y'all. Pause on the story. Wake up. Wake up. Hell is real. It is real. It is real. I started to hear the anguish of people in hell. As I got closer and closer, it got louder and louder. The torment got more intense. And I came back to reality, and there I was in front of the suitcase. Hung up the phone again. Looked at the window. There was a big window. And next to the window, there was a table that my friend had crystals, and she had all of them just laid out. And a voice came to my head, and the voice says, jump through that window to end all this anguish. And as I got up to take myself to that window to jump, I don't even know how I was getting the window. The window was closed and everything. I don't even know. We were on the second floor. My phone rang again. So I answered. And they were like, what's the address? And I told them the address because I was gonna go outside now, right? And as soon as I go through the window, go by the window, they called and I answered and I told them the address. That's what stopped me from jumping, right? I walked out of the living room to go to like the kitchen area to get my friend so we can both go outside. I get like halfway in the hallway, I started going down this tunnel. This time it was shorter, but it was more intense. Now when it stopped, I was still in the middle of the hallway. So I turned around, walked through the door, and I jumped down one flight of stairs, y'all. When I tell you I jumped from the top to the bottom, I jumped and I hit into the door like that. I was trying to get the door open to go outside, and I just see flashing lights, and literally it just made like, I don't even know, like, oh my goodness, it was like so bad. I just saw the flashing lights and I literally thought, I'm dead. And I opened the door and I ran outside into this New York cold weather with no shoes, no coat, nothing. And I ran into the arms of that cop and I told him that I'm gonna die. And it's so crazy because I'm looking at this cop thinking that he can save my life, but he can't save my life because medically there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just high, right? And you can look at this as like a bad trip, but this was no, when I tell you that this was hell, like instantly I knew this was hell. Instantly. Was I educated about hell as much as I am now? No, but this was hell. Because everything in my body, everything in my soul told me that this was hell. The chants in my head, those were demons. Demons are real. The spiritual realm is real. These things were real. And I was coming to realize that now that I was a Christian, but not a Christian. I was just a Christian. I was not a follower of Jesus Christ. I was not following Jesus Christ for who Jesus Christ is. I was not with God for who God is. I was just with him because it just seemed cool. It just seemed safe. But let me tell you something. Hell and heaven is real. And we need to wake up. Now back to the story. So here I am in the arms of the cop, and my friend comes outside and they're like, do you want a coat and the shoes? And I'm like, I don't want a coat and the shoes. I just want to go to the hospital. Please take me to the hospital. I'm gonna die. So my friend goes back in and get me a coat and a shoes because they decided I needed a coat and a shoes. So I get into the ambulance and I go in there, and this lady's asking me a whole bunch of questions, and she seemed bad with me because she's like, bro, this girl wasted my time. She's strung out on drugs, and let me stop saying drugs. Like, I was like on some crazy drugs, but it was drugs. So I was in the ambulance, and she asked me all these questions, and I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm spelling my name wrong. I'm spelling my address wrong. I'm doing everything wrong because I don't want them to bill me. Girl, you should know better. They're gonna find you. But I'm like in the ambulance, and I'm lying, and instantly as soon as I started lying, like, which is a sin, by the way. It's like, why are you lying? You're lying. You're going to hell, and you're sitting up here lying. Literally, there's a voice that came back, and it was like, just jump through the back of the door and just be freed from all this anguish. And I'm sitting next to the lady, and I want to jump through the ambulance door, and it's crazy because I'm not suicidal. I'm not killing myself. I'm sorry. But at this point, the force that was over my mind was stronger than me. And let me tell you something. This force isn't stronger than me because I have Jesus Christ in my life. Now, with the weapon of Jesus Christ, I can just be like, in the name of Jesus, up and out. But at this point, I had given authority to the spirit over my mind by doing drugs that allow this spirit to enter my body and mind, which allow them to control me. So that's pretty much how this whole thing works, right? My daughter is sleeping so good right now. I need to finish this story. But anyways, so I allow that by doing drugs. This was not a trip, and it could. Listen, this was not just a trip. I've tripped before, but this was hell. So as I'm in the ambulance, I'm going, and I'm hoping that I don't go back down that tunnel. And I'm like, maybe if I just kill myself, I won't go back down that tunnel. But that was a lie of the enemy, because if I killed myself, I would have gone down that tunnel for eternity, and I would have dealt with that anguish, the pain, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And just think about forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and you can't come back. Horrible, okay, y'all? Horrible. So if you're lukewarm right now, this is your message to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Because heaven and hell is real. If you are lukewarm, if you are walking next to God and not with, if you're walking behind God and you're trying to like, God, can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this? And you're not with God for who God is and who God created you to be, and with God because who God is, wake up. Heaven and hell is real. Stop dabbling in sin, because heaven and hell is real. Now fast forward, I'm in the hospital. I need to finish the story. I'm in the hospital, and I'm laying on this bed, and I'm thinking about my life, and I'm thinking about how I almost died. And my phone's dead, my Apple Watch is dead, and I'm like, I don't even know my way back home. I don't even know nothing. In the morning, they discharged me. My daughter's waking up now. In the morning, they discharged me. I asked the nurse if they could charge my phone. They charged my phone for me. Okay, so in the morning, I asked the nurse if they could charge my phone for me. They charged my phone. I got up, and I was like, okay. I started walking. To think about what in the world just happened to me. Am I a Christian or what? I started praying to God. I'm praying to God. I'm like, God, I'm sorry. I started just being so like, it was just like the most intense thing ever. I started praying to God like, God, I can't believe that I hurt you that bad. Like, I hurt you, and I can't believe that I was walking like in complete disobedience. I promise you, y'all, I looked up to the sky and I saw a sign from God. And I inserted the picture on the screen, and I inserted the video also. There was 2 green lines and 2 red lines, and in that moment I knew that I had to choose what door I wanted to go through, what road I wanted to follow. Did I want to be a part of the broad road and follow and fit in, or did I want to stand out and go with God all the way through and through, not halfway, not in the middle, but all the way? And in that moment, I prayed to God and I said, God, I'm all the way in. And I went home the next day and I deleted all the songs the secular songs on my phone. I started to read my Bible intentionally the next day. I'm telling y'all, I stopped cussing that exact day. From that day on, I never cussed a bad word out of my mouth ever. But listen, I'm not perfect and I still sinned after. I still felt short after. But the thing about it is I repented. Like, I repent. I turned away. After I still sinned, I didn't sin because I wanted to sin. I sin because I'm human and I fall short. And I fall short. But when I go to God and ask for forgiveness, do I ask for forgiveness to go back and do it again the next day? No. I ask for forgiveness and I ask God to purify me. And I pray that He takes this desire away from me. That I want His desires and His will. And that's exactly what I got. So since I'm pushing 30 minutes on this video, this is pretty much like the end. But this is not the end of my story at all. And the next, I'll be doing another video, probably not the next video, but I'll be doing another video about my redemption story. Like about me getting married and me having a baby. And how like God has redeemed me and God has did a full circle on my life. Because I seek the kingdom first. Y'all, that's scripture for the day. Seek the kingdom first, not second. When you put God second, you're putting something else first. When you put God first, He gives you the desires of your heart. And I promise you that's so true. The truth. I'm telling y'all, I pray that this touches someone's heart because heaven and hell is real. I can't stress it enough. But it is real. And it's time to wake up. And it's time to walk in full obedience to God. It's time to walk next to God. It's time to walk with Him.